Well, it's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, make sure you hit the like button and definitely take the time to subscribe, and all that would be greatly appreciated. Hope everybody's doing good wherever you're at in the world today. But listen, man, I had something I wanted to touch on that I wanted to run by everybody and see what y'all think about it. So, just this past weekend, we had the fight with Alycia Baumgardner and Terry Harper. You know, Alycia Baumgardner puts on a star-making performance of the highest order. The week right before that, we had Mikayla Mayer versus that girl Hamadouche, whatever her name is, Hamadouche. That was a good fight from what I heard. I still haven't watched it yet, but I heard it was a great fight. And right now, I really feel like women's boxing, I know women's boxing isn't everybody's cup of tea, and I get it. But man, I gotta call a spade a spade. I gotta keep it real. I feel like women's boxing right now is in a great place, and I would even go as far as to say that women's boxing is in a bit of a golden age. You know, I think right now there's never been more big fights, more intriguing matchups in women's boxing than what we have going on right now. I mean, look at 130 to 135. You got like Alycia Baumgardner versus Mikayla Mayer. That's a potential matchup. You got Mikayla Mayer versus Katie Taylor. Maybe at 135. Maybe Alycia Baumgardner versus Katie Taylor. Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. Amanda Serrano versus Mikayla Mayer. Amanda Serrano versus Alycia Baumgardner. That's just at 130 to 135. Also factor in that girl Hu Min Choi. You know, she's in the division. You got, you know, obviously Claressa Shields versus Savannah Marshall, which is a fight that's been very talked about. Probably one of the biggest fights in women's boxing because it's two of the most talented fighters in women's boxing taking each other on when that fight does happen. You know, Savannah Marshall beat Claressa in the amateurs. A lot of people are paying Savannah Marshall as the girl to beat Claressa Shields, and on top of that, Savannah Marshall does have a little bit of a clout because she was at one point in time signed to Floyd Mayweather and Mayweather Promotion. So, you know, that's a big matchup. And then if you go like even further down the weight, you know, you guys know I love me some Seniesa Estrada. She's a great talent, I think, in my humble opinion, and I thought this since the first time I ever watched her fight. I think when it's all said and done, you know, obviously you got Claressa Shields above her, you got Serrano, Katie Taylor, these girls above her, but she's already a pound-for-pound top women's fighter. And I feel like when it's all said and done and the history books is written, when the smoke clears, the best female fighter, the one that made the biggest impact and put the biggest dent in the boxing universe, is going to be Seniesa Estrada. Not just because she's attractive or whatnot. It's not because of any of that other stuff. But it's because when you look at what she does in that boxing ring, the way she fights, it's very unique, and it's unique to her. And there's nobody fighting. When you watch Seniesa Estrada fight, you know it's a Seniesa Estrada fight because she has a very distinct style. She got her own swag. She got her own cadence, her own rhythm, you know. So she's already a 2-division champion. There's some big fights out there for her. You know, obviously there's the Marlene Esparza rematch, which will be even bigger now because Esparza won a title at 112. Seniesa, if they fight, will be looking to fight her at 112 to become a 3-division champion, okay? And that fight's not too far off because Esparza is going to be fighting on the same card as her December the 18th when Gilberto Ramirez fights Jessica Gonzalez in Texas. So that's a big fight. You got Jessica Bopp, who's still around. I think, to me, that'd be the most intriguing fight because Jessica Bopp is one of the all-time greats of women's boxing, a true legend of women's boxing. Seniesa versus Jessica Bopp would be a big fight for me, and in general for women's boxing. There's just so many matchups, and there's so many women's fighters that are putting on great fights on a routine basis. There's so many women's fighters that, in my opinion, they're fighting with a greater intensity than some of the men, and I'm being honest. Like, you got to think about it. A lot of these women have a chip on their shoulder because, you know, boxing is a male-dominated sport, obviously, and a lot of people, there's a stigma around women's boxing, and so when these girls go in the ring, they're leaving it all out there. You're getting the best versions of them every time they have a platform and a chance to shine, and because of that, I feel like over the last year or two, you've been getting a lot, or even the last 2-3 years, you've been getting a lot of quality women's fights because they understand that when they get their chance to shine, it's it might be their only chance to shine, and they gotta make the most of it. They gotta make most of the opportunities that God gave them with the platform when they get the platform. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna say and act like I'm the biggest women's boxing fan. Like I'm not like Ring IQ Boxing. You know, he's like the mecca of women's boxing. I'm not necessarily that dude on Instagram, Fight Mike Fight. You know, I respect those guys. I love what they're doing for women's boxing. But I am a fan of boxing, so I am a fan of some of the lady warriors. I am a fan of Amanda Serrano. I am a fan of Katie Taylor. I am a fan of Seniesa Estrada. I am a fan of Savannah Marshall. I am a fan of Claressa Shields. I'm a fan of all of them. And I really believe that boxing fans, if you haven't already taken the time to appreciate some of these fighters I'm talking about, you should do that, because I think right now we're in a golden age of women's boxing. Nobody wants to say it. I haven't really heard anybody say it right now, but we're in a golden age of women's boxing, and I feel like this is good for boxing, because women's boxing is a part of boxing. You know, whether you want to agree with it or not, it is a part of boxing. And if they're putting on good fights, if they're putting on entertaining fights, if they're giving people value for their money and creating new fans in the sport, creating women that want to watch the sport and whatnot, then it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Let me know which women's fight you guys want to see the most in 2022. There's quite a lot I want to see, but for me personally, I would like to see my top three. I'll give my top three in no chronological order. I would say Savannah Marshall versus Claressa Shields is definitely one of them. Alycia Baumgardner versus Mikayla Mayer has definitely now just cracked that list because of all the back and forth between the two. And then the third one is I would say Seniesa Estrada against any champion, whether it's Jessica Bob, Estuco Tada, anybody, man. Yesenia Gomez, who she wants to fight. Her against any champion, to me, is what I want to see, because I want to see her continue to push the boundaries and get closer and closer to that pound number one spot, because I've always thought she'd get it one day, and I don't think she's too far off. She's got to get the right fight. So, yeah, like I say, guys, you let me know what you think about the state of women's boxing, which matchups you want to see next year, and let me know, do you agree? Are we in a golden age of women's boxing? Because I think we are. Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just Kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.